All right, well, I will call the meeting to order. It is 1:33, January 19, 2021, regular EUB board meeting. Is there any public comment? I guess the mayor, go ahead and, sorry.
Pardon me, it's 1:33. I'll call the Lubbock City Council to order a special call meeting for the EUB board meeting. Today is Tuesday, January the 19th, 2021.
All right, Jenny or Matt Rose, do we have anyone signed up for public comment or emails?
We don't have anybody for public comment.
All right. We are now recessing into executive session in accordance with VTCA Government Code 551.086 on competitive matters of LPNL and VTCA Government Code 551.071, seeking advice of and consultation with LPNL's attorneys on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter, and seeking advice of its attorneys about pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offers, and VTCA Government Code 551.072 to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, and value of real property. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Odom. The City Council will hold executive session for today for the purpose of consulting with city staff regarding competitive matters under the public power utilities under section 551.086 of the Texas Government Code, to discuss pending or contemplated litigation or settlement offers, and to hold consultation with attorneys under section 551.071 of the Texas Government Code. And finally, to discuss the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property under section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code. The Lubbock City Council is recessed to executive session.
All right, we'll see you all over in the other room. All right, well, it is now 2:41 and the EUB board meeting is reconvening in open session. Mayor?
And the Lubbock City Council has returned from executive session. It is 2:41 p.m.
All right, our first item of business is item 6. We need to approve the minutes from the regular electric utility board meeting that was held on December 11th, 2020. I take it everyone's had a second to look at those, so I'll entertain
So
that.
move.
Motion by Gwen and a second by Eddie. We're going to go down the list again. Eddie?
Yes, sir.
You're in favor? Approved. Don?
Yes.
Greg? Yes. On there, but come back to Greg. Solomon?
Approved.
Jane?
Yes.
Butch?
I approve.
Gwen?
Yes.
I approve as well. Greg, can you hear us? Technical difficulties with Greg at a text chair. He is frozen right now, so he approves, he says. Jenny, if that counts. If not, we have 7-0. If you count Greg's text message here, it is 8-0.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Technology. All right. Anyone opposed? That carries. Item 7.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just hit a few highlights from the reports, the written report. On page 25, call center activity was improved this month. We've struggled with attendance with COVID, people being in and out. We had attendance at 81% the prior month, and so that resulted in an average wait time of 53 seconds as opposed to 30 seconds. And which is our target level, but we still didn't hit our target level, but it was an improvement from the month before. We also had 1,500 customers served in the lobby with an average wait time of approximately 1 minute. So I thought that was pretty good as well. Oh, Andy is going to talk about the CIS update, so I won't go into any details on that. On the AMI report, electric deployment is substantially complete, but there is a focus on network remediation activities. Still trying to improve the performance of the network, and primarily in the water only areas where we have, the electric meters work as they basically relay the signals from the water meters, and it makes the communications work a little better. But in the water only territories, we don't have the electric meters to rely on, so they're working on improving the communications there where we have a little more consistency. And speaking of water, AMI, Itron has less than 1,160 service orders remaining. And then the remainder of the meters will be completed by Lubbock staff. So both the electric and water AMI programs are, for all intents and purposes, complete. There's still a few meters left to install, but mostly complete. And unless there are questions on any of the material, at this point, I will ask Jason Avent to go through the transmission update.
Mr. Chairman, if I could interrupt for just a minute, I believe the Lubbock City Council is down to 3 members. And if that's the case, I see Mr. Chattis and Mr. Massengale on the call. Council, are there any other members present? Okay, the Lubbock City Council is adjourned. It is 2:45.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
And Kevin is back on. Looks like Greg's is working as well now, so we're good to go here. Go ahead, Jason.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. A few updates for this month comparison to last month. To start with, where you do have 2 additional projects added to the, not necessarily the presentation that'll be in front of you, but the paperwork you each have. So it's going to be 2 new projects, 92681, which is the ERCOT conversion project, and 92682, which is voltage conversion. So those were approved within this fiscal budget. So it's not new in the sense of brand new CIPs, but from a tracking perspective of what we're presenting, they are new on the back of your workbooks. So just as an FYI there. On the screen in front of you now, I will work next month to make this a little bit cleaner. We'll get some better PDFs, so some of the fuzziness goes away. So apologies for that, but we'll still talk through it as normal. To start with, voltage conversion, so this is going to be the second line down from the top. You do see some red towards the end of that, mainly through May and the first week of June. This is just a representation of a change in philosophy and how we're going through the voltage conversion, and we're trying to align that with the integration into ERCOT. So just some high-level changes there. From a program perspective, we're still on track with all of our projects. We're just trying to ensure we leave your system with as much security ahead of going into ERCOT as we possibly can. So no real systematic changes there. The step sequence is still the same. So want to make sure we don't call too much a concern to that red of that 5-week, what we're showing as a slip. Going down a couple
Jason.
line items. So holidays. Yes, sir, David.
Before you leave that slide, I wanted to give a pat on the back to our substation crews and our transmission system operators. They have completed voltage conversion now from McDonald, Vicksburg, Northwest, and McKenzie. That's the first 4 line items under the voltage conversion. So we now have a 115 kV into those 4 substations, and they worked some very long hours and around the snow and in very cold and difficult conditions in some cases, but they've just done a fantastic job of keeping this program on schedule in some difficult conditions. So I really can't be prouder of the work that they've done on voltage conversions. Pretty significant effort on their part to go from 69 kV operation to 115 kV operation, changing the taps on the transformers, changing the relays, and multiple other tasks that have to be done at each substation as they progress through. So really proud of their effort.
Kudos.
Yeah, thank you for that, David. So let me give a brief update again on voltage conversion. So if we go down to the bottom of this page, about the 5th line item down, that's the Northeast Substation. That's currently where we are within the schedule. So as David pointed out, we have maintained our schedule, have been some long hours and some overtime as well, all within budget, but the schedule has been maintained. So we do have kind of a knock on wood, but an easier week with 1 substation that is the focus instead of 2 as we have been the previous 2 weeks. So as David said, some long hours, but we are progressing along with the schedule. So that's been good news for us. Is there any questions around voltage conversion before I step back to physical construction of the upgrade of the system? All right, we'll step back to the top of the sheet. First line item is Holly to Southeast. So between last month's report and this, we have completed the Holly to Southeast project and placed it in service, along with the balance of work on Thompson to Vicksburg, which is the 2nd line down. So if everyone remembers, there was the T3 foundation that was an issue with TxDOT several months back. We have worked with procurement engineering, pushed that back out to bid, and did complete that work and that project. So both of those were completed in the month of December, just before Christmas. I think we finished Thompson to Vicksburg on the 23rd. So we have begun the Holly to Slayton project. I'm going to kind of hit pause on Holly to Slayton, talk about it on the issues and concerns on the next sheet. So Andy, if you don't mind, we'll go to the next slide, sir. So primarily, you're seeing here the updates from Encore. One notable update from last month till now is the Fiddlewood substation. So that's the 4th line item down on the Encore substation projects. While still within tolerance, in our opinion, from a program perspective, that project has slid out 1 month, and that's mainly due to commissioning activities. So from a construction perspective, they're still moving along. The commissioning of that substation or the energization is projected to take a little bit longer than originally planned. However, still a week and a half, 2 weeks ahead of integration to ERCOT. So we're starting to keep a closer eye on that project, but still in alignment with when we need it. One more slide, please. So we'll focus on the status updates to the bottom, and these are the issues and concerns of the current projects. Very first one is around the Dunbar transformer project, so 92475. So during assembly, there was an issue with the transformer where the contractor did damage one of the bushings, and that was a Siemens contractor as provided by Encore. We had an available spare on site, so we were able to facilitate that change out rather quickly, and we will be getting that spare replaced so LPNL has like new or new equipment for the future maintenance and not having to deal with replaced or damaged hardware. So long story short, we were able to avoid that issue. I'm going to step down to the Holly to Slayton project, a slight shift in the in-service date or when we'll substantially complete this project, and that was mainly due to the Northeast substation taking a little bit longer to commission than originally anticipated. It has about a 2-week slide to the right, which we saw on that first sheet. There was 2 weeks of red. So we're moving from a 2/14 to 2/27 in-service date. No effect to the program. This was looking to be a just-in-time substantial completion to align with voltage conversion. So right now, again, we're paying more attention to this project to make sure it aligns with voltage conversion, but no showstoppers right now. Everything's still moving along as planned. Does anyone have any questions for this sheet or the issues for the current projects?
I would just make a comment. You can see the cumulative forecast for the expenses in the upper right-hand corner of this slide. And you can see that we're really ramping up on the cash expended as we get closer here. And a lot of these big ticket items, big high dollar increases that you're going to see in the next few months are related to the Encore projects. So the cash burn is picking up rapidly.
Yes, sir, David, thank you for that. Mr. Chair, if there's no questions, that's all the presentation I have for this month.
Any other questions for Jason or comments? Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Takes to item 8. Andy, who will be presenting today?
Yeah, I was going to go over the COVID metrics for through the end of December. One of the ones I wanted to point out today is the second chart from the top on the left-hand side. Shows the past dues. Anything that's over 30 days past due, that is elevated. It continues to be elevated. It's at about 3.7 million currently for electric accounts. A year ago, that was about 3.1 million, so about 600,000 greater than what we have seen in the past year. Also, to point out, though, that is down from about 4.3 million in July. July was where we really hit our peak, and since that time frame, that has trended downward. The third bullet on this slide, though, I wanted to point out the over 90 days past due are basically right in line with where they were this time last year. So, you know, what that demonstrates is that the 90 days and plus staying the same, we have extended out the collection time frame, but it's not going out beyond that 90-day time frame, which is good news for us. I think, you know, because of our efforts in establishing payment arrangements, we're extending those payments out in that 30 to 60 to up to 90-day range. But really beyond that, we're maintaining collections beyond that. So hasn't really been a largely negative impact on us for the long term, at least at this point, it appears to be that way. The slide beneath that, or the graph beneath that, is the assistance for our customers. And you can see that we continue to have an elevated amount of assistance going to our customers. We had 227,000 provided to customers of about 1,400 customers that benefited from that in the month of December. So very helpful for those folks who need it, especially at this time of the year. We continue to work on the payment arrangements, extending those due dates, working with people's circumstances and understanding that, but also ensuring that, you know, we're ultimately collecting and keeping their electricity on. As I've done in the last number of months, just reminders on payment arrangements, you know, it does extend that due date 15 days beyond disconnect date. So that gives folks some extra time to make their payment. And then again, we're also still working with other customers for extenuating circumstances. Again, the benefits of that, it avoids any late fees, it avoids disconnections. So we would certainly request that our customers give us a call and let us know if they need to be set up on an arrangement to help with their payment. Again, easy ways to do that. You can do it online. There's an easy way to set that up on our website, on the cityoflubbockutilities.com website. You can email customer first at City of Lubbock Utilities to request a payment arrangement, and one of our representatives will call, or you can just call us, whichever of those are easier. But we're certainly working with them, and we're still continuing to refer customers to the assistance agencies. If you go to the City of Lubbock Utilities website, on the front page, there is a utility bill assistance button that you can push. It'll take you to a bunch of information, but one of those especially is the payment assistance. And the screen doesn't show it all, but down below there's a long list of the assistance agencies in the city, gives information about them and a phone number or contact information to be able to get a hold so you can set up payment assistance. So things seem to be, I still believe they're leveling out. I don't think we're going to have any major long-term ramifications from this, assuming things continue to improve, but still something we're going to very much keep our eye on. Any questions on the COVID metrics for this month?
Andy, do we still
Yes.
have a policy or procedure of not disconnecting during freezing winds?
I'm sorry, not disconnecting when?
During freezing weather?
Yes, we do stop disconnecting when the weather is going to be below freezing. I can't remember what the term of that is, but for so many hours, if it's going to be below freezing, we'll stop all disconnects.
Okay, when we had this last snow, did we pause disconnect?
Yes, that would have halted those disconnects. And if you look at that chart on the bottom of that COVID metric page, it shows the daily customer disconnections. And you can see how it varies across the month. We really didn't, our goal is to do between 100 and 200 a day. That would be a level that our call center reps can keep up with. However, it's been far below that, mainly because of the weather and also because of sometimes the shortage of staff on hand because of COVID. So.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Another thing I wanted to point out this time, I know last month I gave y'all a quick update on the billing system and how our go live date has been shifted out to later in February. We'd originally planned to go live in the early part of December, mainly due to the fact of COVID impacts on our staffing, as well as with our vendors. They're having shortages all across the country and even overseas. We have had issues keeping on track with that. We've also had some issues with interfaces into our billing system. And so because of that, we made the decision to not force a go live until we're ready. And so we have moved that out to February. You can see our current focuses. We are doing a lot of day in the life where our call center reps basically take the work they did yesterday and they go and do it in the new system on the next day to get used to working in it. So when we go live, they will have a better understanding of how that works, and we won't take an extra amount of time with the customers. We're validating bills. We're making sure the interfaces are all working. We're testing all of those. And then readiness assessments are going on, and also completion of all the reports that we're going to need once we go live. So that all continues to go on. We're getting very close. We're feeling much better about things. Staffing is improving. One thing though it has impacted is going to be the cost to do this, because we're asking Oracle, we're asking Group 7 and TMG, Utility Advisory Services, to work extra hours for us and to continue to help us once we hit go live. So there are 3 items on the agenda today, and I just wanted to give you a highlight. They're on the consent agenda later, but wanted to give you an update on what those look like. Items 14, 15, and 16 are related to the go live extension. Number 14 is Group 7, which is the group that's helping us with our mobile workforce management system. The increased amount of time for that is about $51,000. Number 15 is Oracle. They are also, providing the billing system, the meter data management system. They also provide us the mobile workforce management system. It is an Oracle product. And so their additional time is going to be about $395,000 on that item. If you look below, there are 2 other items in this Oracle item on number 15 that aren't related to the go live extension, but they're related to operational issues. First of all is our meter data management system. We need additional channels, and being a cloud system, for more information, you purchase additional channels. And so this is going to be information to help with our distribution and transmission folks, to help provide data of the integrity and the soundness of our system, providing information as volt, VAR, power factors, things like that the engineers appreciate. So that will be good information for them. That's a $13,000 a month item increase. And then also we have added an additional virtual private network, or VPN. That is a kind of a backstop, redundant network in case our main network goes down. So those 2 are also incorporated in item number 15. And then back up at the top of the slide again, item number 16 was with TMG, Utility Advisory Services. They're the ones that are actually overseeing the entire program, that are our consultants, that are our project managers for the most part. And they are overseeing all aspects. So that is increasing about $60,000 for the additional time related to the go live. So it's about a $500,000 impact on go live for the extension. If you look at the cost though, it's about an 8 to 9% increase on cost, but the hours they're providing are an increase of about 15% in hours. So we think we're getting some good value for the additional time, because it's obviously impacted these 3 enterprises as well. And so I think there's some cost sharing involved with all of this. So we've tried to negotiate as best as we can to keep those costs down as low as we can.
Mr. Chairman. Andy, do you see any risks with this go live date now?
At this point, we really don't. What we will do is I believe it's February the 5th, we will all get together, our steering committee, which involves, the heads of most of the departments at the city who are involved. It involves, David, myself, all the project managers. We'll sit down, we'll go through all the issues that are still outstanding, and we'll make the determination on the 5th of whether or not we are completely comfortable going live or not. There are still things today that I wouldn't be comfortable hitting that go live button, but I think we're making some really good progress, and I believe we will be there. But once we have made that go live decision, then we will really start rolling out the communications efforts with our customers, ensuring they understand all the changes that are going to occur towards the end of the month. Everyone will get a new account number. Most everybody won't be impacted. They can still log in and get access to their account without really doing much. There are a few customers that may have multiple accounts. For example, if you own a lot of rental properties, we're going to combine all your rental properties now into one account. You'll have to, we're going to send out information on how those customers can reset their passwords and get in to be able to see all of their accounts all at once. So there's a lot of activities that are going to have to happen between now and February 22nd, but we will not go live unless we're all very comfortable with where we are as of February the 5th.
Okay, I saw in the board packet some mention of manual workarounds for interfaces. To date, have they resolved those?
The workarounds that are manual in nature are some of the interfaces that aren't critical to the operation. I don't know if Jamie, are you able to speak? Could you speak to that question from Solomon?
Hi, yeah, they really aren't critical interfaces. A lot of the workarounds we're talking about have to do with some of the smaller interfaces. I know one of them that we spoke about was, and I'm going to cartograph. One of them that was just going to be implemented with the city, and it's going live, I believe, in March. So we had to come up with some workarounds when it comes to that. So they're very, I don't want to say unimportant, because they're all very important to those departments, but they're off to the side and not necessarily directed. They're not direct billing interfaces.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Did anybody else have any questions there?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
Andy, I've been looking at that total past due amounts and then the days receivable outstanding.
Yes.
So that does seem counterintuitive that we would have larger past dues, but the same days receivable outstanding. So I don't know, you reckon that's a average daily sales increased at as the same amount as overall receivables, or we've got more receivables collected early
I think
that reduces the.
Yeah, I think it probably has
Go
to
ahead.
do, because that calculation is really your average accounts receivable divided by your revenues. And I think it's because the revenues were elevated a little bit more this November than they were last November. And so that probably brought that average days receivable down a little bit comparatively to last year. So I think that's what's driving that down.
Okay.
Because
The revenue, you got
the average accounts receivable is up. It's just, I think that revenue in the denominator was up this time too. So yeah, makes it look better than it may actually be.
Yeah, I was trying to puzzle through that. So
yeah,
good. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions or comments?
All right.
Thank you, Andy, for that presentation. Yes, sir. Thank you. That gets us through item 8, brings us to item 9. Mr. McCullough.
Chris Sims is going to give this presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Sims, and I've been serving City of Lubbock and Lubbock Power and Light for over 25 years, and I currently serve as the Director of Grid Control and Compliance. And as you know, you've heard quite a bit today, and you hear every meeting that after we gained approval to move the affected load over to ERCOT, we started large conversion and construction projects to facilitate the ERCOT integration project. And today we want to spend just a little bit of time to let you know more about how we plan to operate our distribution systems, transmission systems, and generation plants in ERCOT. ERCOT is normally not thought of as being engaged in interstate commerce, requiring or triggering federal regulatory compliance requirements. However, due to complexities around constitutional terms of commingling of electrons and the statutory terms of technological transmission testing of electrical equipment, operating transmission and interconnected generation is regulated under federal reliability standards in ERCOT. These standards are promulgated by NERC, approved by FERC, and regional entities are delegated auditing and enforcement duties. LP&L currently operates transmission assets in the Southwest Power Pool, as you know, and however, you may not know that we operate them under an exemption from federal reliability regulation, and we obtained that exemption in 2017. Because we expected the transmission assets to move to ERCOT, we maintain our compliance position and our program as a good utility practice. And LP&L also operates a distribution provider number of assets in the Southwest Power Pool. In 2021, LP&L will once again fall under federal reliability regulations as we operate new transmission assets and an existing generation unit in ERCOT. And additionally, LP&L will maintain operating our distribution provider assets in the Southwest Power Pool. In this slide, we'll see that LP&L currently operates 37 distribution substations, 4 transmission substations with approximately 8 miles of line and equipment that are exempted from federal reliability regulations that I spoke about earlier. After ERCOT integration, LP&L will operate 16 transmission substations with approximately 147 miles of line and equipment and 1 generation unit under federal reliability regulations in ERCOT to support the 450 megawatts of affected load. Additionally, LP&L will operate 4 distribution substations and 6 distribution generation units that fall under regional reliability standards specific to ERCOT. And LP&L will also continue to operate our 20 distribution substations in the Southwest Power Pool to account for the 170 megawatts of non-affected load that is staying. LP&L currently does not operate under regional reliability standards. However, this will change when we move to ERCOT and after the ERCOT integration. Prior to the federal reliability regulation exemption in 2017 that I spoke about earlier, LP&L held agreements with another company to fulfill most of the transmission reliability requirements for Lubbock. This agreement was specific for operations in the Southwest Power Pool, and it will not be available for operations in ERCOT. After considering the scope, impact, and risk related to all the activities in ERCOT that would trigger federal regulation, an agreement was obtained that allowed LP&L staff to work with one of the nation's leading consultants in federal reliability compliance efforts. This expert crafted a program that was used by Rayburn Electric Cooperative, and if you remember, they were the last successful entrant into ERCOT. The newer revised reliability program is one of 4 programs supported by LP&L's Regulatory Compliance Department. The Regulatory Compliance Department has been in existence for nearly 25 years, and they work with over 15 different federal, regional, state, and local regulatory agencies. The Regulatory Compliance Department's Electric Reliability Program has 2 specialists, Tina Cooper. She specializes in federal and regional reliability regulations pertaining to operations and planning activities. And Tina has been with the department for 10 years now, and she was instrumental in obtaining the exemption from federal regulation in 2017. And many of you on the Electric Utility Board know Brandon Miller. Brandon specializes in federal and regional reliability regulations pertaining to critical infrastructure protection. Brandon is a certified information systems security professional, one of the most prestigious and globally recognized certifications for cybersecurity professionals. The consultant LP&L acquired to create the new program for ERCOT uses a hybrid program that no longer places all the responsibility on the specialist in the Regulatory Compliance Department. The new program now enlists and enables many employees from many departments and groups to assist with program specialization and implementation. These employees are gaining the knowledge, skills, and abilities to serve as subject matter experts for their areas of responsibility. Now, with the new program, LPNL not only has 2 dedicated reliability compliance specialists, but we have nearly 20 subject matter experts in 5 departments or groups, plus the expertise of 4 consulting companies to help us operate reliably in ERCOT and meet the federal and regional regulations. All of our SMEs have done exceptionally well over the past year, and I'd like to recognize Engineer Paul Koberline and Control Room Supervisor Cody Kirk. Paul and Cody have displayed great enthusiasm and eagerness to gain the new knowledge, skills, and abilities that will be required to operate in ERCOT. This entire team has been working long hours to prepare for the transmission operations certification by the Texas RE that's currently underway. And that was just a brief overview of how we plan to operate in ERCOT once we have all of our conversion projects in place and our new construction in place. And that's all I have for you at this time. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Chris?
No question, but comment was a very good presentation.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments there? Thank you, Chris. David, do you have any other items under item 9?
No, I just wanted to commend all the LPNL employees and contractors that are working on this compliance program. There's been thousands of man hours put into this effort, and we're looking for Texas regional entity is going to actually do their audit or certification audit in February. So we're approaching an important milestone, and I think we're prepared for it, or we'll be prepared for it when that time comes. So just appreciate everybody's effort on this.
Thank you all. All right, I understand Mr. Davis needs to recuse himself from this matter on item 10. Mr. Davis, you want to drop off? Jenny or Brandon, someone will let you know when you can get back on.
All right, I'll be back.
Thank you, sir. All right, looks like he is gone. Item 10 is consider a resolution authorizing the Director of Electric Utilities or his designee to execute that certain First Amendment to professional services contract by and between the City of Lubbock acting by and through Lubbock Power and Light and Park Hill, Smith and Cooper regarding professional engineering services related to engineering, design, surveying, procurement, support, and construction support services related to boring evacuation projects and electric transmission and distribution issues related to the same.
I'll just make a couple of comments here. We use consulting engineers for projects, public works projects where you have to get sealed drawings and where you're building things in the public right of way. And we also use them for overflow when we have more work than what we've got staff that can handle it. So we've got a number of distribution projects coming up to support ERCOT integration. Those are in the capital improvement plan and they're in progress. They're about to be in progress. And so that's really the main driving force behind hiring this company to help us out.
Jenny, anything there to add?
No, I don't.
Everyone should have that resolution in front of them in their board book and everything. Is there any questions? Not, I'm going to entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I don't know who seconded that. Kevin, I believe Kevin seconded it. His motion.
Either one, yeah.
Okay, any discussion there? All right, I'm going to go back down the list again. If you're in favor, please do so by saying yes. Eddie?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Solomon?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Mr. Davis has recused himself. Gwen?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
And I'm in favor as well, so that carries 8-0. Give you guys a second to get Mr. Davis back on.
Should be back in just a minute.
I'm back.
Thanks, sir. We're now to the consent agenda, which is items 11 through 17. Take it everyone's had a second to read through those as well and go through those with their books. So I will entertain a motion to approve items 11 through 17.
So moved.
So move.
A motion by Jane and a second by Don. We'll go back down the list again. If you're in favor, please do so by saying yes. Eddie,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Solomon,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Butch,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and myself is in favor. Therefore, that carries 9-0. Any other business before we adjourn? Jenny and Mr. McCullough. If none, meeting's adjourned.
Will the next meeting be on what, February 16th?
I believe it's our regular scheduled one. The only thing that could interfere again is if they have to repost for some, the state of the city or something, if that conflicts. I know they said they may do that virtual, but we'll have to wait until, I think that's correct.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
The
February
third Tuesday.
6th, February 16th at 11 a.m.
And we don't know whether it'll be virtual or not yet.
No, we're meeting virtually now by virtue of the city council directive that all boards and commissions meet virtually. In fact, the city council is as well. So if they change that order, we will follow their lead, but that's what we're working under right now.
Gotcha.
We'll keep all you posted as those updates come available. Thank you all.
Ready? Thank y'all.
All right.